Huntsman, all in all, is an amazing career. He is capable of some insane range DPS. He has sole access to one of the best ranged weapons in the game, being Kruber's longbow. He can absolutely melt monsters, he can melt patrols, he can melt specials, he can melt elites, but most importantly, he can and he will melt your heart. And I mean, let's be honest, that's why we want to play the Huntsman, because he is easily the most Chad career in a game. That is a fact. If you saw him, admit it, from across a crowded room, you would be captivated by his spell, you would probably let him buy you a drink, you would see where it went, you'd get to know each other, and who knows what would happen after that, okay? Now, we love the Huntsman. He's cool, he wears a hood, he does a lot of damage, he has the best bow ever, but he does have some weaknesses, okay? They're not massive weaknesses, apart from the fact that he has such a fragile, just absolutely just pitiful constitution, but that does not matter. Okay, because what we're going to do today is we're going to make a build, and that build is going to keep you alive while still putting out that hectic DPS that we know the Huntsman is capable of. We're going to be successful, we're going to get the green circles, okay? We're not only going to win hearts, but we are going to win games, okay? And so let's get into it. This will be a quick one, because a long build video is a boring build video, and this is the greatest Huntsman build in the game right now. Let's take a look at it. Alright, getting into the build. I kind of said that it's going to be a quick video. It might not. This is kind of an in-depth video. It is a build video. It comes with the territory. So, enough with the memeing. Let's get into it. Now, for our loadout, we're going to be using the Spear and Shield for our melee weapon. Now, why are we going with the Spear and Shield? A couple of reasons. Firstly, because of its insane stagger potential, we are going to build up our stagger. So, we're going to be able to stagger almost every enemy in the game, bar Chaos Warriors, of course, out of their attacks on Cataclysm difficulty. So we're talking Plague Monks able to stagger them out of their attacks on Kata. If you are anything below Kata, you will be the king of staggers. And as a ranged character, what we're trying to do is we're building up, as a weak ranged character, we're building up a little tool belt of safety around us while still able to put out that massive DPS. Okay, so if you're having a look at the properties that we are going to run, you're going to think, ooh, a bit controversial there. Yes, we're going to go stamina and we're going to go power versus Skaven. Now, the reason that we use stamina over block cost reduction is because of our play style. I will get into a little bit about that a bit later, but our playstyle is going to involve a lot of push attacks. A lot of push attacks, a lot of pushes. Okay, the reason why our push attacks are very, very quick. The Spear and Shield, for a shielded weapon, it is decent. It does have a decent attack speed, however we do not have any attack speed modifiers. We are not running Swift Slaying, so we want to utilize the push attacks just because as well that they're very, very good. So we're going to run out of stamina with our playstyle if we do not put some stamina on our shield. Also, shields have inherent block cost reduction, so we do not really need it. The 10% power versus Skaven is for our stagger breakpoint, and it is also going to help with our weapon specials damage. Now, weapon special, as I said, I mentioned tool belts. It is going to work into our little tool belt also. The weapon special, if you did not know, on the Spear and Shield is basically, it enables you to attack while you are in a blocked position or from a blocking position. Normally it is not utilized very frequently because it hits with all the ferocity of a wet stick of spaghetti. However, we're going to change that. I'll get a little bit into that a little bit later. And another thing that we're going to use about the Spear and Shield, another tool in the tool belt, is its distance to attack is actually quite good. If we have a look here, it's got quite a nice distance there. The Tuskarl Spear is praised for its distance, but if you can see here, that is quite a long way that we're able to keep a safe distance. So when we utilize those things together, we have the ability to attack while shielded, the added bonus protection that a shield just inherently has, the ability to stagger everybody with a push and to do so as much as we want because of the increased stamina. Those things are all going to work together synergistically. That is a word, look it up, and it's going to work together to create a safety blanket for us, like a warm, like the strong, powerful arms of Kruber himself hugging you, telling you everything's going to be alright, because it is going to be alright. And this is why we're going to put Opportunist on our weapon as the trait. The reason we're going to put Opportunist is Again, stagger breakpoints, it helps with our stagger breakpoints. So we need it, don't question me, just run Opportunist. Longbow, when it comes down to the longbow, it's a given why we're going to use the longbow in this build. The longbow is an absolute monster. It is a monstrous weapon. Its headshot multiplier is insane. We're going to pick that in the talents, we're going to be doing headshots all the time, and we're going to just absolutely kill everything in one shot. For our breakpoints, again, the other reason why I really like the longbow is it works synergistically. There's that word again, perfectly with the spear and shield stagger breakpoints. So when we build for the stagger breakpoints and when we build for the range breakpoints on the longbow, they're the same breakpoints, so the same stats need to be applied. It works perfectly. It's a match made in heaven. It's a given. They are going to be, speaking of breakpoints, it's power versus infantry and power versus Skaven, and then we're going to run Hunter for our trait. The reason that we run Hunter is for that extra DPS. We are going to be doing a lot of crits. And so, it's a given to have something that's going to utilize those crits. The Spear and Shield isn't the most DPS heavy weapon, as it were, so that 25% extra damage buff is going to help us out there in that regard as well. When it comes down to the necklace, it's some standard stuff here: 20% health, 30% block cost reduction, and bark skin. If you are new to the game, just run this all the time. You really do not need to deviate from this on the necklace. 99.9% of builds are going to use this. It's only in when you get into much higher difficulties and you're really going for team synergy. I don't know why I keep saying synergy. There's other builds, but anyway, for the most part, do not be fooled by natural bond or anything like that. Just run bark skin, 20 health, block cost. Okay. When it comes to the charm, we're going to go power versus chaos and power versus Skaven. They're for our breakpoints. Don't deviate on them. I've got Decanter on here because I was testing it, but I would actually run Concoction. Concoction is the better choice in my opinion, purely because he has a very, very long cooldown with the ult, 90 seconds I believe off the top of my head. That's quite long. Concoction enables you to just drink a potion and get it back, and the ult is going to enable you to not only do the insane amount of damage and get those green circles, but also it is going to be your safety blanket so that you can escape bad situations. When we go down to the trinket, again, don't do as I say, not as I do. I've got 5% crit chance on here and 30% stamina recovery. Again, new players always run stamina recovery, and there's only limited times that you will not run stamina recovery, and then swap out the crit chance for curse resistance on the lower difficulties. If you're running above, you're running kata, I would try out, which is what I've been trying, instead of putting crit chance that everyone does, the same old thing, put on movement speed. We're going to pick the 10% movement speed when we get to the talents, and this is going to give us a 15% buff to movement speed. You are hilariously fast. You are comically fast. No one can keep up with you. Even with their move tech on their weapons, no one can keep up. You can outrun everyone. You can get clutches like crazy. It's actually quite hilarious. So then when it comes down to the trait, we're going to run, I've got Shrapnel on here because I like Shrapnel. It enables you to just, with your ult, you can just decimate patrols, but you can basically run whatever it is that you want down there. It is not crucial to this build. Moving on to the talents now. We're not going to go through every talent and go down through all these passives and whatnot. We are all very intelligent people and we can read the English language. But however, I will note one thing about Hunter's Prowl. It does not say that there, but when you do activate Hunter's Prowl, it gives you a 5% debuff to your dodge distance, a 10% debuff to your movement speed, and a 40% buff to your reload speed. Just one thing to note. If we go have a look at our level 5, we're going to take Taste of Victory. Staggering enemies with a melee attack grants temporary health gain based on stagger strength. It's a given. We're taking a very high stagger weapon. We're going to be able to generate insane amounts of temp HP, and as we are a weak little squishy boy, this is going to help us immensely. Level 10, we're going to go with One in the Eye. This will be a cornerstone talent of this build. Increased headshot bonus damage by 50%. Now, it could perhaps be conceived by some that this would only apply to ranged. It does not only apply to ranged, it applies to melee as well. Now, as we know, the headshot modifier on the longbow as it currently stands already without One in the Eye is already very high. It enables you to do massive headshot damage. If we just have a look here, look at that, booyakasha, very, very nice. You know, and a fully charged arrow, look at that, amazing. We get a crit in the head, it is absolutely insane damage. Now, remember I talked about the wet stick of spaghetti and our spear and shield special attack. Well, One in the Eye is going to help that as well. Now, that wet stick of spaghetti, if you just hit someone with it, does absolutely nothing. However, if you hit them in the head, you are increasing it. You're going from wet spaghetti to dry spaghetti. If you hit someone in the head with One in the Eye, we're now going to several sticks of dry spaghetti working in unison to actually do some respectable damage. And if we actually get a crit right? We're now steel forged spaghetti, actually able to one-shot plague monks on Cataclysm. Yes, that's right. And remember the 10% Skaven on the spear and shield? I remember. Yeah, well, that's what's going to enable us to do it. Those breakpoints, the 10% Skaven and whatnot, we needed that anyway. It's just a bonus. It's a cherry on top on an already epic build. So again, it's just going to form part of our tool belt in the safety and DPS focused man that is the Huntsman. Level 15, we need enhanced power. Again, stagger breakpoints, range breakpoints. Level 20, we're going to go with making it look easy. This is an absolutely epic talent. After scoring a ranged headshot, Marcus gains 25% increased critical hit chance. Now, there is no sort of, there's no time limit on this. It's just flat 25% increase to your critical hit chance until your next crit, which is absolutely awesome, especially when we also already have that 5% aura. And it's going to be a cornerstone of this build because we're going to hit headshots all the time. It's going to be very, very nice. You can actually, if you get a crit with a fully charged arrow, short range headshot with the longbow, you can one-shot a Chaos Warrior on Cataclysm. Amazing. Okay, so level 25, we're going to go with long shanks. Now you're going to be asking yourself, why did you not go with thick hide? Killing a special or elite enemy reduces damage taken by 10%, stacks 4 times, which of course, doing the math, that's going to be a potential 40% damage reduction. Well, in practice, it doesn't really look that good, and I tell you what, we're using the shield dummy. The shield is going to be our main way at reducing damage, and then Longshanks is going to boost our mobility, which is going to help us in overall damage reduction as well. I've done the math, I've done the testing. Longshanks is the way to go. As I said, we can pair it with a 5% on the trinket to actually make you move comically fast, and you can actually outrun a lot of things. It's very, very good, very, very useful, and just that extra mobility, especially when using the shield, is going to allow us to position ourselves better as a ranged character and get the wins, get the green circles, and get the girl. And then, of course, we get down to the level 30 talent, and we're going to use Concealed Strikes. Attacking while under the effect of Proud does not break stealth. Not much to actually say here, apart from it is just the best for this build. It enables you to go invis and then just absolutely pump out range DPS like an absolute madman. Oh, one thing to note as well, as I said earlier, when you hit your Concealed Strikes, when you hit your Hunter's Proud ult, it gives you a 10% damage debuff. Remember Longshanks? Right, we're counteracting that. Boom, you're welcome. So, Concealed Strikes, as I said, it's the best. You can easily just, what you want to be doing is just popping off your ult and then just standing there and just pumping headshots, and you will absolutely decimate anybody that is in front of you. It is awesome. Okay, let's have a little look here. So, as I said, headshot damage at a fully charged arrow is absolutely mental. Have a look at that. I mean, just absolutely mental. If we hit our ult to, I mean, look at that. This is just madness, and this is when we can just one-shot, headshot everything in the game, even Chaos Warriors on Cataclysm. Okay, when we get down to our, going to get down to the basic strategy with the Spear and Shield. The attack strategy and the attack patterns are pretty basic. So, Light 1, that was a heavy. Light 1 has a lot of cleave, it has a tank modifier. Heavy 1, as we can see here, also has cleave and a tank modifier. As you can see, it's cleaving through, going straight through to the armored enemy on the left. If I just do a light 1, it attacks him but doesn't actually do any damage. So that is going to be our main thing. So if we're going to be in a horde with mixed in elites and armored enemies such as this one, we're going to go push, heavy, push, heavy, push, heavy. Okay, if it is a little bit lighter, you can go push, heavy, light, or you can go, and then if it's just trash, you can go push, light, light. Right, that was actually push, heavy, light, but you can go push, light, light, push, light, light, and that is a little bit quicker. Okay, but for the most part, mixed in, that's what you want to be doing. So if we want to do some single target damage, we're going to go push attack, heavy attack. And so push attack, heavy attack, push attack, heavy attack. Okay, and we can chain those together, and then we're going to remember the Linguini. Let's all go back to our favorite, the Linguini. Now, check this out. So, we're completely blocking right now, and bam, we attack. Now, have a look at that damage. This is unarmored, but is actually pretty insane damage, and if you look at that, we're getting up some absolute mental damage, while we can almost basically spam this, and at the same time, if we get that crit, let's try to pop a crit, we can actually get over 100 damage, which is, I'm not getting now, there we go, 106.75. That is going to one-shot a lot of things in the game, unarmored that is. So that's it, lads. That's about it for the strategy. As you can see, we can absolutely bully the absolute dang heck out of everybody with this. We can do so safely. We can run around like this, popping people in the head. We haven't even lost our block. I mean, absolutely awesome. We do our super quick heavy attacks. Absolutely amazing. Try it out. If you do die, I guarantee you won't die, actually. And so I will give you my home address and you can come and speak to me in person if you do die. I guarantee it'll never happen. No one has ever come to my house in the history that I've lived here. So that is the build. That is it. To anybody, and I hate to do the whole YouTuber thing, but to anybody who subscribed to me, thank you very much. I actually do appreciate it. And I'll see you later. Bye bye.